Welcome to the Entrepreneurs Network radio show. My name is Ike Engelbaum. I'm the founder of the Entrepreneurs Network of Michigan, which I started last century. Wow! And because of that, I am proud to announce I have over 20,000 contacts all over the United States and possibly even internationally. My mission is to surround myself with successful entrepreneurs who are willing to share with us their ideas and strategies and the experiences, both the good ones and the bad ones. Because as it has been jokingly said, you should learn from the mistakes of others because you'll never live long enough to make them all yourself. And believe me, I've made quite a few. And I feel that if I can convey some of my thoughts with you and help you avoid some of the problems, I will feel that much better about myself. According to Maimonides, who is looked upon as one of the real great advisors in philosophy, said that in the Jewish tradition, and I am sure it's true of almost any tradition, that the greatest deed you can ever accomplish in life is to help someone become more self-sufficient. And that's what our entrepreneurship show is all about. That's why we meet on an ongoing basis. Our website, Entrepreneurs Network of Michigan, will give you an opportunity to see where we meet. If you want to network and be successful, join up with a local Rotary Club or the Optimist Club. I belong to both of them. This is the greatest country in the whole world, and I try to bring out successful entrepreneurs. I'm really excited about having two friends and entrepreneurs here today, and I am sure you're going to walk away today smarter than when you sat down, or if you're standing up. Ross Sillers has a social media company. He is one of these gurus in the social media aspect of marketing with the latest technology. And also Sam Gupta, who's president of Unified Media, has one of the most exciting things out there today, video marketing. Hello, Mr. Ross Sillers.
How are you? Thank you for having me here.
All right. Well, Ross, you and I think, have known each other almost a quarter of a century anyway. We'll take a few years away.
Plus or minus.
And of your background and all, as you know, we always like to discuss the 60-second elevator pitch. Ross Sillers, what is your 60-second elevator pitch?
Well, there are really two parts to it. The main thing that I do is I drive traffic to websites. It's just that simple. And there are many methods to do that. I also like to build community and help people and websites develop authority. And that's where a lot of the social media comes into play. And if I can do those two things successfully, I can really help a business grow. And that's ultimately what I'm trying to do, of course, help businesses grow.
Now, did you have a marketing background, or you sort of stumbled into it? How did it all come about?
It goes way back to high school days. I won awards in both photography and marketing coming out of high school, and I had a choice to make. What do I want to do with my life? And I decided to follow my art. And I followed photography and went into the media and spent 20 years in the media, but still working on the the marketing side. Consulting and of course developing my own companies, which allowed me to learn the hands-on of how to do social right. My media background certainly helped there, but also getting really geeky with the websites and the search engine optimization and pay-per-click advertising and understanding how it all works together. And so when which is a common story around here, when the big recession or depression hit, I decided to switch gears a little bit. I still do the photography, but I started to take on the skills that I had and grow the marketing side of my business.
So you started in photography, and you say, hey, I can get this into a larger media. Is that how
Yeah, I mean, I worked for newspapers and magazines, and today I still photograph for companies all over the world, and as well as getting a little more involved in video these days, which is obviously so much more important today than it ever has been. So what I've done in the past with the photography certainly supports the marketing, because we can create great images for our clients.
Well, you got to focus and focus, right? In both.
Yes.
Well, you know, you remind me of what I like to call Ikeisms. Some, frankly, I may sort of change what's out there. Some I just leave alone. But this is a bit of philosophy, and they say there are three groups of people on Earth. There's one group of people that make things happen. There's a second group of people that watch things happen. And unfortunately, that third group of people, and the majority, are the ones that stand around and say, well, what happened, okay? I got to give you credit. You were obviously in the first two categories. You saw that what's happening, still photography, has got to catch on to what is going on, and then now with the social media and all, which is really something that I see such great opportunity. And we have, if you don't mind my calling you Sam Gupta Guru, you picked up on that part, right? Video marketing, right? So give us your 60-second elevator pitch.
Well, so I've been in marketing for some time. I actually started off in the newspaper business. I had newspapers in 11 communities, local community papers, and at one point I realized the market had changed and everyone wanted more digital solutions, and print was not as popular, so we slowly transitioned to digital. About 4 years ago, what ended up happening is a bunch of our clients started asking us about video, utilizing video in their marketing. And so we started doing it, but what we realized was the challenges that come with video. And in today's day and age, video is very hot. YouTube is very hot. YouTube is actually owned by Google. Facebook is promoting live videos. More and more format of content is a video. And we've run so many campaigns where we've seen the results of video blow the numbers of plain text and graphic images as well. So everything points that video is effective, but the challenges still exist. So about 4 years ago, we decided to develop some technology to help utilize video more effectively for clients. I consider social media as a channel, email as a channel, at sending text messages just as a channel. Video is a format. Okay, you take the format and distribute it through multiple channels. And so we built this thing called Video Knocker, which is a video marketing platform. The thing that we're trying to accomplish is not making videos. There are companies that can do that really, really well, specialized video production companies. Our specialty is how do we take these videos and get juice from them? How do we get them distributed across multiple channels and translate that into real results?
Now, when you and I first got to know each other, in fact, I remember you in the print business. You were quite successful at it, but you saw that, hey, again, you're watching what's happening, so you got into the whole aspect of video. And rather than just saying and looking at working with stuff that's out there already, like a boilerplate deal, you actually spent about 4 years to develop your program. Is that right?
That's
Can
right.
you tell us about that?
Sure. So I'll share what I consider two of the most important aspects in today's day and age, because there's so much noise out there. Everyone's on social media, everyone has a website, everyone's trying to be on the top #1 rank on search engines. With all this noise, we have to businesses have to segregate themselves and declutter so that they're seen. They could have the greatest message in the world, but if nobody sees it and engages with it, it means nothing. So one way to accomplish that is by personalization. people want to feel like you're talking to them. So our solution takes videos and adds a personalization component to it. Okay, so that every message, every communication channel, the recipient feels like, yes, this was done specifically for me. And the second thing is trackability. I'll give you a very simple example. Somebody makes a video, posts it on YouTube, and they get a lot of views, 853 views. It's really good for the ego, you know, hey, I'm getting a lot of views. I think from a marketing standpoint, what I feel is of greater value is if I can tell you who those 853 people are, what their phone number is, what time they watched it, when it's the top of mind awareness is at its peak. That is of greater value, and so that's what we're trying to solve as a challenge for our clients.
So your company is called Unified Media. So behind that is the fact that you unify various forms of using video. Is that the idea?
You know, you hit the nail right on the head. That's how we came up with the name, to unify all these different channels into one component.
Plus, in the entrepreneurial world, we have the USP, unique selling proposition. So your unique selling proposition, and I've seen you demonstrate it, is that you can take all the form of media, and unlike the old days, if you wanted to send out a postcard or something and writing the person's name, and you got hundreds of names to write it and the postage, you do this, that you look at it, and for assuming I'm trying to reach you, it says, "Hi, Sam," then the message comes out. I mean, that's really exciting. I mean, the way I see it is the fact that you've eliminated the stamps, the cards, the whole bit, and you have that personalization. And Raj, I just wondered, you mentioned a couple of terms, pay per click and social media, and unfortunately it's not anything for me to brag about, but when it comes to these terms, I feel a lot like Einstein's wife was once asked if she understood all of her husband's theories. She says, "Well, let me put it this way. I could understand the words, but I could never understand the sentence." Okay, all right. So tell me, as far as social media,
Sure.
what is social media?
Well, there's different types of media. Obviously, we traditionally know of radio and TV, and that's a media, and that's really one-way media. That's media that's coming at you. And when you disagree with that person on the radio and you start yelling at the radio in your car, no one hears you other than maybe the dog in the back seat. So that is the one-way element of traditional media. Social media is the ability to comment to the content creator. So it could be a podcast. If it's hosted somewhere, you can comment, and the person who actually did the podcast can see your comments, your thoughts about what they were talking about. And you can go to Twitter and follow a stream, an account, and comment back to somebody that is well known. For example, years ago when I was in the university teaching social media, my students were doing book reviews. And one of the students was doing a book review of someone that I was familiar with. And so I went to Twitter and I tweeted him. And I said, "Hey, this is my student's doing a book review on your latest book." And he replied back and said, "Hey, give him $5 for a great review." So the point being is the ability to connect with people you never thought you could connect with, because that little guard in front of them is not there. It's passive. People can contact you when you want. So social media, the ability to comment to the content creator, whether it's YouTube, a blog post, or a podcast, or other social platforms.
Now, is there any particular profession that social media is super spectacular, preferable over others, or
Sure.
is it?
Any profession or situation in which you becoming an authority is valuable to your career. So if you becoming well known as maybe an attorney, could, because your name is synonymous with some certain types of law, that you talk about and have developed an authority on within the social media, you're apt to get some more business because you've developed yourself as that expert, just like the expert that wrote in the weekly column in the newspaper or the segment on TV. And today, rather than having to wait for people to select you, you can just go do it yourself. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to be the top in your industry. You still have to bring the goods, but you don't have to wait for an editor to say you're good enough or not, or that space is already filled.
Mm-hmm. Now, Sam, when it comes to Video Knocker, it's a catchy name. Is there significance to the name Video Knocker?
Yes, the way we came up with the name was, one day I was sitting and I was thinking, you know, the old way sales were made where people would knock on doors, right? And I said, instead of knocking on doors in person, we're going to knock on doors with video. So that's how we came up with Video Knocker.
I see. Now tell me, someone is interested in getting involved with your company, Unified Media. Can you walk us through? I walk up to you, Sam, I heard about you and I wanted to get involved. What's your protocol? How do you go about it, identifying where they're at and how they may get to where they want to be?
Sure. So obviously it starts off with the consult. What is the client looking for? And one of the things that I focus on a lot, and it's astounding how many people don't know their numbers. Especially in marketing, knowing your numbers, you know, what is your lead acquisition cost? How much revenue is coming? How many leads are coming from each channel? Knowing these numbers can significantly improve or impact the results. Sometimes something that seems really good may not actually be that great. So knowing your numbers and then devising a plan and the channels to distribute the content, creating a strategy, and then implementing the strategy. Let me digress for just a second. One of the challenges that I feel businesses have, it's not social media, it's not email marketing, it's not making videos, it's getting something done. I use this example a lot. Buying a gym membership is the easiest thing in the world. The toughest thing is getting to the gym in the first place, right? How many times have people bought a gym membership and never gone on a regular basis? There's a very practical aspect to that hiring a company, doing it yourself, the intentions are great, but writing out that blog, writing out that email, if that's written, sending it out is the easy part, right? So somebody wants to do video marketing, that's fine and dandy. That's a very easy, simple process. It's making the video that's hard, and that's the solution we're trying to, that's a problem that we're trying to solve. How do we get videos made simply, quickly, easily? First, too many people focus on, hey, is the lighting good? Am I saying the right thing? I think that's important, but that's a secondary concern. First is let's get a video made in the first place.
Right, well, you know, I saw your demonstration and it actually is very impressive, and I've had people who are much more technologically blessed than I am. They agree that what you've done, in all due respect, if you're technologically blessed, you could probably do on your own, right? But what you have is the expertise to not only personalize it, but usually if you want to do it on your own and I'm going to do a video, you got to bring in a camera and then it's got to be uploaded and then it's got to be distributed. You, cleverly enough, have a subscription type program that and it's a month-to-month type program where you can drop out at any time and you become your own studio, so to speak, right?
That's
Sit in front of your laptop, and it was fun for me because I like, you want to do a video, and I just babbled on, and all of a sudden, who do you want to send that to? It's automated, so they got, whoever got the message was personally identified. Hi, Ike. Hello there, Joe, and hello, Sam. And that did not require expensive type of presentation. And the aspects of getting that message out, you also helped in the script and preparing it. Is that part of your service?
Sure. Yes, sometimes the reason why people don't do something is they want to avoid looking incompetent. They don't know what to say, and that's why they don't make the video in the first place or write out a blog in the first place. It's difficult. But I found that just giving them a basic script that they can personalize with a few words, make it their own, it gets people started. Just a little bit of hand holding can get the momentum going. Absolutely. Let me address something that Rosh and I have actually discussed last time we met, that in today's day and age, there's another factor that's become very, very prominent, which is authenticity. When you're shooting a simple video, it's just real. People are saying their ums and ums, and they're speaking their normal voice, and when they're distributing these videos, they feel that, yes, this is real. If I'm going to hire this person for their products or services, this is what I'm going to get. There's no bait and switch with that stuff. And I think that's what's making videos much more effective and much more popular as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, Rosh, what about in your particular case? If someone approaches you, what's the initial visit like? What do you expect of them?
Well, first, and again, going back to what we've been talking about, expectations. What are your expectations? What are you trying to achieve? And are your expectations realistic to what's available out there? So, do you want to, when we look at marketing, we look at 4 areas of marketing that I think every business needs to address. You need to have a plan for awareness, developing brand awareness, driving traffic to your website, improving conversions or sales, and then one that a lot of times we forget about is retention. Retaining and keeping the clients you've worked so hard to earn in the first place. And so sometimes we have people who are really good at branding. They're all over the place, but the other 3 are nowhere. They have no retention, so they keep branding to keep more people coming through. And so we like to develop a plan for all 4 of those areas. And the one area that actually satisfies all 4 of those areas is social media. And because awareness, obviously, you can get out there, get your face in front of a lot of eyeballs, develop a community. You can drive traffic to your website and blog with social media. You can improve conversions. Well, how do you do that? Well, you ask your question, the age-old sales question now, who buys from you? Well, people who know, like, and trust you, right? That's these big terms now. So by being out there in social media, people get to know you, feel you, doing live videos, doing videos and being in front of them, they feel they know you or know you better, or you improve the relationship even though it's not one-on-one. And so you soften the ground to make sales easier. You're lowering the risk, because it's always a risk to make a purchase. And if you can lower that risk and make people more comfortable. And then retention, well, then social media, you're staying top of mind. For thousands of years, we wonder, how do we follow up? What's the best way? How often do we follow up? What's the next step? Well, social media, every day you can be in front of people at their pace. They can see you when they want to see you. And so we satisfy all 4 of those areas that are extremely important to marketing.
Speaking of follow-up, do you have any suggestion as to how frequently should you be in touch with an existing customer? Is it weekly?
Sure. Well, I mean, obviously, in terms of a phone call or an email, I mean, it certainly depends on that client. Some clients want to hear from you once a week, and some don't want to hear from you for 6 months. But when it comes to social media and keeping out and keeping in front of them, my philosophy is this: more is always better until the point in which quality drops off. And that quality could be quality coming from you, or the quality of engagement after you actually post. So you could post 3 times a day and people are like, wow, hey, that's great information. But then you could post 20 times and the first 3 are really, people are excited, but 4 are not, and by 20 they're like, unsubscribe. So the point at which engagement. But I've also gone through the process of increasing the amount I post and noticed that the quality that I was giving wasn't so good, and so people were dropping off. So more is better to the point at which quality drops off, and each platform is a little bit different. So you have to test.
Sam, when someone comes to do a video knocker, do you do any research of that particular industry to see, hey, this is what your competition is doing, or how do you bring out your USP, your unique selling proposition?
Well, it's not really mine. It's the client's unique selling proposition. A lot of companies don't have one or have not clearly defined their unique selling proposition. And the idea is, we start off with a process where we say, what does the customer want? Their customers, our clients' customers, right? And then one of these strategies is to make videos addressing what their customers want. Make small videos saying, hey, you want us to show up on time? We show up on time. You want to see proof in our results? These are proof on our results. This is our warranty. This is our guarantee. Just make small videos. Very, very simple process. Make videos that help your customers solve a problem. Post them, make them aware, and so we put these things out, create different topics for them, so it makes it easy for them to just record. Ask a business owner to talk about their business. That is a pretty easy task to do, but sometimes they just don't know the questions, so we'll come up with the questions. Yes.
I see. And before we got on the air, Raj, you said, I have a 7-5-3-1
Yes.
success combination. I am dying to hear
Are
what
you?
does 7-5-3-1 success combination mean?
Well, one of the things I do online, and I've been developing this over a number of years, something I developed what I refer to as the combination code, a way to separate yourself from the competition. And this thing about combinations have always just kind of been a part of what I do, and it has grown. And eventually I came up with kind of what we refer to as your unique success combination. And there's a code to that, 7-5-3-1. And that unique success combination means seven sources of income. So in other words, you can have a core, product or service, but you should always have, people are successful, especially entrepreneurs, have multiple sources of income. 5 is people, 3 processes, and 1 is channel building, making sure you have a channel in which you dominate.
And we're going to have to leave it at number 1, channel building, because unfortunately we'll have you on again. Sam, you've been a delight, and both you as well, Raj. And I never like to leave my show without saying my favorite parting thought, which is, if you really want to get anything done in life, you'll find a way. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse. And there is no excuse for not achieving your dreams and goals in America, because it is the greatest country in the whole world. Remember, a goal is just a dream with a deadline.